Welcome to the Anonymous Andrew podcast. Life and the choices we make. The choices other people make. Why we choose to ignore the red flags. Red flags like gaslighting, cheating, addiction, mental illness, and much more. What role do they play in relationships? Follow me each week as we discuss these topics with anonymous guests and experts to hopefully become better humans, resulting in better choices. Like I say, been there, still doing that. Now on to the show. Anonymous Andrew back with you with another episode, and today we have something a little different. We're going to switch gears a little bit. Several episodes ago, maybe even 10, I spoke about going to start slowly switching to the dating aspect of post-relationships. So I have found a woman named Kristi D Price, and she is with KP Matchmaking. And what an interesting, such an interesting interview. I know nothing about matchmaking, the matchmaking services. And of course she does more than that. They if you have a profile on an app, they will help you with that profile. To like, as if it was like, she told me that your profile on an app should be as good as the resume if you're applying for a job. And I know about my profile could use some help, and I'm sure, and some of the profiles that I've seen on apps could use some help. Anyway, coming up in this episode is Kristi D Price with KP Matchmaking, and she gives us some great tips and things to look out for and the red flags and all about her service. So enjoy the interview, and please, as always, follow me, subscribe, and or leave me a review or give me 5 stars. Anything, folks. I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm on my knees, I'm begging. Thank you. We'll see you on the other end of the interview. Ciao. Hello, everybody. Anonymous Andrew back with you once again. And today, I finally, I've been talking about getting a dating expert on because I want to transform the podcast into starting in the shift into the dating world. And while I talked about being on dating apps here and there, today I have Kristi D Price with me. And Kristi is with KP Matchmaking, and she is a dating coach and matchmaker. And good evening, Kristi, or good morning. I don't know what part of the country you're in, but
yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm in West Palm Beach right now.
Oh, okay. So
the same time zone. We're good.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous, Florida. Okay. Tell us, Kristi. So what is it that tell us about your matchmaking and what is it you do?
So I do 2 things. I do dating coaching and matchmaking. Dating coaching is help people go out on their own, like successfully online date, look for red flags, learn how to write your profile well, know how to attract people, get to the first date, what to wear. We have image consultants. I do confidence building, getting over the fear of rejection. We also help our dating coaching clients figure out where to go and meet people, whether that's on the street, because sometimes dating apps, as we talked about, can be really discouraging. So dating apps are great, but that shouldn't be your only avenue to meet people. Like, go out to meetup groups, find seller interest groups, or even a Starbucks or prepared food sections. Like, make opportunities to meet others. And we help people with the art of conversation and approaching people and being approachable. And then the matchmaking is when people hire me because they don't have the time, or they don't want to do online dating and meet people on their own, or they're meeting the wrong kind of people. So they hire me to find people that are mutually aligned with their life and relationship goals, interests, hobbies, religion, politics is a thing now. And I actually introduce them to people that I screened and qualified, and I know they look like their photos and they want a relationship, and I introduce them.
That's great because, yes, as we discussed before, the dating apps are the photos don't match. I'm actually talking to somebody now who for 3 weeks, and I'm trying to get her to do a video thing on Bumble. All right, Bumble offers a video, and she keeps saying yes, but I say, okay, how about Friday night? And then I don't hear from her, and then it's Saturday morning, and so people are reluctant to get on video. That's a red flag, right? That means that they're hiding something. So
Yeah, if they don't have photos, if they don't have, they won't get on a video or something, or meet you in person, she's just dragging you along.
well, that's funny you mentioned that, because the first thing she said to me was, by the way, she's from Ukraine and hit me up. She matched with me and said hello to me first. And then the first thing she said to me, hey, I'm not too far from you. Let's meet at a Starbucks. She wanted to meet within the first 2 days. And she gave me an address to a Starbucks in New York City. And I said to her, no, 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 no. That's not how it works. I want to talk to you on the phone. I want to see your face on the video.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. And she just kept pushing it and pushing it. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm not going to meet you until I see you. And then she said, oh, okay, I'll do the video thing. But she just never followed through on it. So anyway, the dating apps can be quite tricky to navigate.
Yes, they can.
Okay. So, I told you a little bit about my story. So you can help people also that maybe coming out of a bad relationship, and can you help people rebuild their confidence in getting back out into the dating world?
Yeah, I think the first thing is to take time, and you said you took time too. Because a lot of times when we get out of a relationship, we jump back into someone that's the total polar opposite of the person you were dating, and most likely we're trying to fill a void, and we'll get back into a codependent or toxic relationship because you're not feeling good yet. So it's really good to take the time to create a life that you love again, do the healing, take time to do things by yourself. And when you start feeling good about where you are in your life, like even at home alone or going for a walk and getting out of your comfort zone and try something new, getting out of your comfort zone builds confidence. It just does. If we stay in the same patterns all the time, it gets too comfortable. When you push yourself to do something and get out of your comfort zone, and you accomplish something, it doesn't matter what. Maybe it's going to talk to a new person at a barista. It doesn't mean that you have to hit on them. Just do something new or learn a new skill set. That helps build confidence too. So anything that you're doing that's taxing your brain to think differently or do something differently or something you're a little nervous about will automatically build confidence. So I really believe in create the life that you love, do your healing, try things that you haven't done before, which also makes you more interesting when you go back out there. So you have other things to talk about, like, hey, I just tried pickleball. It was so much fun. Or I just did, started kite surfing or learn how to play chess or whatever. I think that's really a good way to, before you get out there, to kind of be whole. And then also, you really know what you want. When you feel good about yourself and you're not trying to fill that void, you see the red flags more. You learn when you're feeling good how someone else makes you feel. So, they say something that didn't seem right, or maybe their energy is off and things like that. So if you're in a good, high, positive vibration because you're in a good place, you'll be able to kind of push people away more quickly that may not be your style or you're good or a little toxic.
Okay. Yeah, well, I do need practice in that, because obviously the last relationship I did not do that. I like the concept of getting out of your comfort zone, because my comfort zone is either here in my home, because we're always comfortable in our home, and I'm a social person. I am a social animal, but I need. I shouldn't say I need. I'm comfortable in a group of people or with a woman. And my audience knows this, is that I live by the beach and I'm a beach person. And for the past 3 summers, I went to the beach with my girlfriend every weekend. We were both big beach people. And now here it is the summertime, and she's not in my life anymore. So I think what I'm going to do is go down to the beach alone.
I love it.
But that scares me, because it's not my comfort zone. I would rather go down with somebody. We would fill up the wagon and the cooler and get the cards and the umbrella and the chair, and we would go down in the morning and stay. It was a whole thing, and it was beautiful, and it was our fun, our happy place. I need to go back to the beach, but do that by myself, and bring a book or bring my, earbuds and listen to a podcast or music and sit there for several hours. But I'm going to be uncomfortable because I'm going to be by myself. But I think that, like you said, that might help me build some self-confidence. And who knows? I might meet somebody. Somebody might walk by and stop and say hello, or right?
Yeah. And you're creating new patterns. So you love the beach, now it's associated with her and that negativity. So by doing that, not only are you getting out of your comfort zone, you're going to create new memories, and the beach hopefully will become your happy place again.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this holiday weekend's coming up, 4th of July. We're recording this a couple of days before the holiday weekend. So I did take off for 5 days, and the weather is supposed to be good. I'm gonna get on my bike and go down to the beach. So I say,
Good.
I see if it happens, but I'm gonna force myself to do that. I'm just gonna go down and dig myself a hole and just stay there. And like you said, I think I got to make new memories, because you're right. I will associate the beach with her, and it's going to be a little bit nerve wracking to go down there. It's going to be a trigger, but if I get through that, I'll be okay. So,
Yeah,
um,
it'll get easier.
okay. What else? What other, I guess, guidance? So let's say that I am get get out of my comfort zone, and I become more self confident, and now I'm, let's say August, September, I might be ready to maybe go on a date, because I've been on these dating apps, but I'm just not ready, and I'm not finding anybody. So somebody like me would come to you, and how would you start with me?
Okay. Yeah. So if it's for coaching, we start with just kind of really going through and defining. I do initial consultation with everybody, so I get to know who you are. So we go through like your life and relationship goals, value systems, interests, hobbies, religion, all that stuff. So we could figure out where to meet people, not only online dating sites. Also, so how to, from that, we help write the profile so they're interesting. So you want to stand out. That's your resume. You want to have good photos. So yeah, the photos tell a story. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't read. A lot of women don't read, or men. So the photos, if you like yoga, or if you like the beach, like I'm not really into shirtless selfies or bikini pics, but like activities that you're doing, unless you want to hook up, then go for it. And then also a couple of professional photos. You want kind of a hodgepodge of photos, and you want it written well. And then with online dating, you mentioned a couple of red flags. No photos. I think most people are smart enough to at least have a fake photo on there.
Yep.
And how it's written, and really read it. So some people will say they want to hook up. So if you're looking for a relationship, people will lie online too. Some people are in a relationship, especially after COVID. They're in relationships or married. They're not happy. They're looking for validation. You have scammers, as you mentioned. And men, not just women, have to be safe and make sure they're meeting in public places, because you don't know who's behind the photo.
No.
So that's really important too. When you do start talking to someone, you want some interaction back and forth when you're messaging on the app. So we'll start with apps first. And then you want to get off and have a phone call. So if they want to incessantly talk to you, because they're like, women do this more than men. Oh, well, I just don't feel comfortable unless we're talking for 2 or 3 weeks. Don't waste your time. She'll never meet you.
Right.
Never. So it's back and forth. Phone number, get a Google number if you don't want to get your name out there.
Which I have.
Phone number, and get the phone call. I know some people do like to video before they meet. That's up to them, at least but some people don't like videos. And in the case you were mentioning earlier, it sounds like a red flag. If you ask someone to video, they say they will, and they don't. That's one thing. If they say, hey, I look like my pictures, here, I'll send you some. I'm just not really a video person. I'm on Zoom all day long, and I'd rather meet in person. People have different styles. But it should be a quick 1 to 2 week top process, not on and on and on.
Right.
So that's with the online dating. And then I always say coffee, cocktail, dinners are the worst first dates, and they get expensive for men. So don't do that. And just keep it light and fun. And I always say to my clients, even my matchmaking clients, like, take the pressure off. It's just a resume. A lot of people lie online, or they don't look like their photos, or the women are, using the filters. The men say they're 6 foot tall, but they're 5'6". Like, that's the one thing. Don't lie, because that's the first thing people see when you walk in the room, and you just broke trust, right?
Right.
So I would say just be authentic when you're doing this, and just have fun with it. You could be a new friend, a business connection, and maybe the romantic interest, but it's just a date. And people get so hung up on that first date and so excited. And I think they have to take the pressure off and just have fun with it. And then rotational date. I think when you meet one person and you just lock on one person, you miss those red flags that we mentioned earlier because you were trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, especially if you're kind of still vulnerable. So I don't mean sleep with a bunch of people, but don't just lock down on one person after 1 or 2 dates.
Yeah, no.
You know, date several people. Plus, you're more desirable if you're not always available. When you start the texting process and you're texting them back right away, people, especially women, want people that have a little mystery. They have other things going on in their lives rather than just waiting for that text.
Yeah, good point. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. And then we don't put a plan together for them to go to meetup groups and interest groups too. I don't believe in just online dating. It's like a full-time job with not a lot of return on your investment, and you're not getting paid for it.
That's true too. I'm naturally a paranoid person, so I am not going to meet somebody unless I insist on that video chat, whether it's through the Match and Bumble have video in their app, so you don't have to give your phone number or email. And I don't see any reason why. And I've done this with a few women, and thankfully I did that because their pictures did not look like what it did in the video. I had a woman that I was talking to almost 2 weeks, back and forth, and she seemed wonderful. She was an MRI technician, and we were really having a great conversation. And then one day I wake up and I see this text, and she says to me, which I'm thankful for, because I want the next subject I'm going to bring up. She says to me, Andrew, I got to be really honest with you. I'm in a 4-year relationship and I'm not happy. So I just jumped on on Bumble to see what was out there. And
case in point, right there.
Yeah, right there. But she didn't ghost me. She could have easily ghosted me. So that's the next topic I want to bring up. Talk about ghosting. What's going on with this ghosting stuff?
Well, I think it's ridiculous. It's gotten worse and worse, especially after COVID. I think people are just, I hate to say humanity. I think people have lost connection across the board after COVID. Yeah. You're masked up, you're not talking. So I think people are a little bit more disconnected. And I think the cowards out there, and I'll just say cowards because I think it's cruel to do to somebody, just be a person. It's like burning your bridges at a job. Like you never know if you're going to run into that person again. First of all, it's cruel to just ghost someone and not let them know why. At least say, hey, I'm just not interested. I see you more as a friend. I don't feel a romantic connection. You don't have to be mean about it, but just say something so the person's not left hanging. But it's prevalent, and it's in all age ranges. It's not, everyone blames the younger crowd. It's not just the younger crowd.
Yeah.
But my thing is just be a good human and let someone know if you haven't, connected on whatever level.
Yeah.
And instead of just like ghosting them and not getting back. I think that's wrong.
The couple of women that I may have connected with a video with, I made it clear to them the next day. I said, I thank you for chatting with me, but I'm going to move on. I will not ghost somebody. I heard a term not too long ago on another podcast, and they were talking about ghosting. There's a new term, maybe you've heard of it, called zombieing. Have you heard of that term? So I'll tell you what it is, and maybe
I have not.
So,
I've heard breadcrumbing, but not that.
Okay, well, from what I heard, they ghost you, and then 30 days later or whatever, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, all of a sudden they reappear. And that did happen to me. So I was talking to a woman, and we were having this for a week back and forth, and then nothing. All of a sudden I got nothing. Now, I will not, if I send you a text and I don't get a response, I'm not going to follow up and go, hey, where are you? If you're not going to respond to me, right. I don't want to sound needy. Plus, if you're not interested, I'm moving on. But 4 or 5 weeks later, I get hello from her. So what that tells me was that she wasn't interested then, or she found somebody else and went on a month worth of dates with him, and then it didn't work out. So I was her plan B. And
that's similar to breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing.
It's similar. So it's just a longer period of time. So it's like they don't know if they want to keep you yet, or they just want the attention. They're looking for validation that you're still interested in getting back to them. Or she probably, dated someone else for a while. He probably dumped her, and now she's going back through her list. So I just don't think, yeah. So if someone's if you're have a conversation, then they just disappear for a few days, and then or a month or whatever. I mean, and they won't get back to you. There's no conversation. Is that really going to turn to a relationship? So those people, I say, cut them loose.
Yeah.
Like, why waste your time? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different if they miss a text here or there, but oh, I missed your text 3 days ago. Talk, talk, talk. 2 days go by. Oh, sorry, I missed your text again. Like
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, it happens. People are busy, but if it's a pattern, forget it.
Yeah. I agree with you. And that woman, when she came back to me, I just said, I think I might have fibbed a little bit. I said, look, my subscription ends in a couple of days, so I'll be off the app. So, I didn't want to deal with her because I knew that I was her plan B, and I don't want to be plan B.
Yeah. And that's in dating too. If women or men won't make a plan before Friday night, as we're talking, especially, so like they should be making plans for the weekend on a Wednesday or Thursday. If they won't give you an answer, like a man, until like the day of the date or the day before, be like, I'm busy. Like you're a busy person. Yeah. You have to set those boundaries with people so they respect you more. And just being available for whenever they decide to fit you in is not good either, especially with online dating. I see that a lot because they have all these different options. They're juggling. So I just feel like it's online dating, especially set your boundaries and respect yourself and don't let people push you around. Be kind, but but know your value.
I've actually had, not to boast myself, but I've had a couple of women say to me, you are one of the most refreshing men that I've talked to, because from what I'm hearing from some of the women that I'm talking to is the men, I shouldn't say this about all men, but a lot of men go right to sex. They want naked pictures, or they want lingerie, or they want to know, can we hook up tonight? And I think there's a whole group of women out there that are turned off by that. And I don't do that. Let's just put it out there. I'm not ready for sex as it is to begin with, but I will never do that to a woman on a dating app. I don't go right to the sex talk or whatever. And they're finding it, or me, refreshing. And unfortunately, it just didn't go anywhere, or I wasn't attracted to them. But I'm not sure why I brought that up. But okay, so
you're saying that. So if a woman, is getting sexual text or pics or whatever, or asking for, oh, send me a bikini pic or whatever like that, the guy's probably just into it for a hookup. I'd say 90%. Yeah, nice guys will kind of test the waters first. They won't just jump into the sexual stuff.
I will not do that. That's not my style. Maybe 30 years ago when I was drinking and maybe coked out of my mind, which is a whole different story. But today, as a mature adult male in sobriety, and I'm looking for a mate. I'm looking for my twin flame, or there was a comment I saw on Instagram, is my next relationship will be my last relationship because you're gonna, I want to grow old with you, or something like that. It was some quote somebody on Instagram, and that's what I'm looking for. So by jumping on Match or Bumble and start asking for naked pictures, that's just not that's not the kind of woman. Even if she sent it to me, that's not the kind of woman I want. So so okay. So that's dating apps. Any other tips or red flags to look out for? I want to talk a little bit about your actual matchmaking.
All right, so this is what talking about the narcissist and things like that. So if you're on a first date, second date, third date, I don't care what it is, and that person's mean to the wait staff and just kind of ignorant to other people, huge red flag. Don't even give it a second thought. I don't care if they had a bad day or whatever. If you're ignorant to the wait staff and nasty, most likely that'll turn on you if you're in that relationship or if you start dating them. Because people are on their best behavior that first date and second date. So if they're showing you anger issues and things like that, just everyone in general, you have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And
you just brought us. I go on a coffee date, and let's say Starbucks, and we're talking, I don't know, $10. I'm old school, old fashioned. I'm gonna pick up the tab because unless she insists on paying, or unless she gets there first and buys herself a coffee, and then I meet her. Let's get to the actual dinner. Let's say 2 or 3 dates down, we're ready for dinner. What is the norm today in who picks up the tab? Because I hear this on social media and other podcasts going around. If I go on whatever date it is, second, third, fourth, and it's a larger bill. So we're not talking a walk in the park. We're not talking a barista. We're talking about taking her to a dinner, whether she invited me or we agreed to go to a restaurant. What's the protocol?
That's changed a lot because you
It
have so many
has.
women out there that are fine just filling the bill. So with my matchmaking clients, I always say like, if the guy does pick, say it's like the first or second date or third date or whatever, the guy picks up the dinner bill, then go if you go out for a cocktail, like pay for a cocktail or something. In terms of dating in general, I think it's personal preference. Like, I mean, I think the guy should grab for the bill,
Yes.
and hope the guy should always grab for the bill. I think that's the way it should be. He should be a
Okay.
gentleman.
I agree.
But she may say, "Let me help," or like, let me pay for something, or leave the tip, and that's just kind of personal preference. By the third date, I think that if she's offering that, she's probably okay with that. If it's on the first date, she might be testing the guy to see if he's actually a man and a gentleman,
Yeah.
and that could crush that. He may never get a second date if he lets her pay for half of it. But some women are okay with it, so it's like it's a 50
Yeah.
flip. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, well, I asked that for the audience. For me, it's
yeah,
my wallet comes out and I pay for the date. It's, that's the, if my dad, may he rest in peace, was a doctor, and he was married to my mom for, I don't know, 45, 48 years or something, and was a great husband and father, and taught me how to be a gentleman. I was brought up to be a gentleman. I could tell you stories, but the audience knows it. I will pay for that dinner. And I did go on a date 3 months ago. I met somebody, and we talked a little bit, and she really wasn't my style. And as soon as I sat down at dinner, I just said, "This is not. I'm not going to go on a second date with her." But I paid anyway,
yeah.
because um, it's just my style. But then I learned, like what you said, and I've been hearing, don't go to dinner on the first date because
No,
men will get broke if you keep doing that. So, especially in
no.
my case.
Yeah, and that's the worst first date anyway. Like if you have a table between you, you can't create attraction. Like, be at a bar, sit at like a four top adjacent to each other so you can lean in and kind of see if there's any chemistry. With that physical entity in front of you at like a booth, it's like not only you're going to go broke, also it's just you can't figure out there's attraction. It's more like a business meeting.
Yeah.
Because you can't touch each other. You can't like lean in or touch a shoulder or vice versa and see if there's
Yeah,
anything there.
body language is very key on the first date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
how they
sure.
react. So, okay, let's say that I am finished with the dating apps. Like I've been on them for 6 months, and I've spent $500, and I'm like, I'm going nowhere. And I decide that I want you to help me find my mate. So we're done with dating apps. So I come to you. What's the procedure? I don't know much about matchmaking has been around for ages, but I've never used one, and I don't know what the steps are. Well, I come in
Yeah.
and fill out a profile, and how does that
It's
work?
Yeah, it's more of a higher level concierge service. So I actually sit down with, I do the initial consultation like I do with my coaching clients too, and really figure out what their life and relationship goals, their value system. I talk about family, their criteria for the person that they want to meet. I make sure that, and then screen both sides. So I meet with each client, mostly on Zoom these days, to make sure they look at their photos, they get a better feel for them. And then once I know what they're looking for, I actually have people in my database they introduce them to that are usually aligned with their life and relationship goals. We recruit constantly on different platforms, not on dating sites, but like on LinkedIn and things like that, and going to events. And I have recruiters out there. So we find the best match possible for our clients, whether they're another paying client, someone that's in our database, or someone that we've recruited. And then once I find people that are great matches for my client, and I screen them too. They look like their photos. They want the same things in terms of life and relationship goals and all the other stuff. Then I show my client a profile with a photo, and if they want to meet, and the person, when I present the profile to my client, the person already wants to meet them too, so there's no rejection, which they love.
Uh-huh.
And if they want to go out together, then I send them out for a cocktail or coffee and walk or brunch or
Okay.
whatever their style is.
All right. So you would show me a potential match, and I would look at her picture and look at her profile, and then I would decide whether I want to. And that person may have already seen me or not yet.
No, they have. I make sure that
Oh,
that
okay.
person already sees once. So if I would working with you, a person I brought to you would already be aligned with what you're looking for. Looks like their
Okay.
photo, and they already want to meet you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My gut, because I'm sure a lot of people would think this, and I don't know if you need to answer this, but I don't know what kind of that service usually cost, or do you don't want to talk about costs?
It just depends. I mean, a coaching package. I mean, my initial consultations I charge 250. So before I work with anyone, I do that to make sure that I can meet their expectations and that we're aligned. So they might go the coaching route. So my coaching route starts at like 1500, and then my matchmaking packages kind of vary. So
Okay.
yeah, and I do a free consultation for 20 minutes. So I'm not hedging around that. I just have different packages for different
Okay.
areas. Depends if they want to be, if they're in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area and they're open to dating there, that's great. And then if they want to date across the country, because I work with people that date open to anywhere in the country, there's different price points.
Okay. And do you handle the New York area too? New York City?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got clients in New York City, Philadelphia area, and New Jersey.
Okay.
But they always sound about, I'll just say 10,000 and they go up from there. That's for the matchmaking. So it's really intensive. That's a screening them, doing background checks. I interview everyone personally and they work with me directly.
Okay. Yeah, of course, there's a personal agenda behind that question. because
Oh,
I'm getting tired of the dating apps, and I've been on dating apps for the past ever since Match came on the scene, or whatever the first one, and eHarmony. And while I have met and been in relationships with women from dating apps, they've just haven't panned out. And I'm not blaming the dating apps. Obviously, it's either I take accountability or it just wasn't a right mix. But I've never tried a matchmaking service, and I'm thinking maybe that might be the route to go in this time around. When I'm ready. When I'm ready.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's becoming very popular because people are so frustrated with the online dating apps. I mean, a lot of
exactly.
my clients are 20s to early 40s. And
Okay.
I used to work with 50 plus. That was my business for 15 years. So it's everybody. The younger people are like, well, I can't believe I have to hire you for matchmaking. Then there's people that are in their 50s, oh, it's my age. That's why I can't meet anybody. It's not. It's online dating.
Yeah.
And just the society we're in, especially after COVID, because people are disconnected and they don't feel a lot of people are heartfelt as much. Like the ghosting is more prevalent and things like that, rather than
Yeah.
taking responsibility because everyone's hiding behind computers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's the problem. They hide behind them too long. They will not come out from. In my experience, I just to get them to go on the video is pulling teeth. And
Yeah.
I say to them, your laptop, your Windows or your Apple phone all have cameras. All you gotta do is push that button, and boom, we are face to face. And like you said before, I think you said during COVID, everybody was on Zoom, so there should be nobody that's not comfortable jumping on a video call for 12 minutes just to see that, yes, that's your picture, because I want to make sure that what I'm looking at here is exactly what you look like. And I don't want to be mean, but I did this with a woman a couple of weeks ago, and she did not look like her picture. I mean, she was her, but
Yeah.
I even had a woman I was talking to. She put a picture of her in 1990, and she was at an Emmys. She must have gone to the Emmys, because in the background it said the 32nd Emmys. So I Googled 32nd Emmys, what year it was. It was 1998 or something. This was, so she had a 20-year-old picture on her dating app, and she,
So, so I don't understand. I don't see a lot of maybe women do it more because I don't really see women's profiles as much. But when men and women put like some current pictures and then pictures of them in high school and college and things like that, like, is that because you wanted? All right, so maybe you looked that good back then, but you're not that person now. So just
no.
leave it off your profile. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And she looked, this is going to come across horrible. She looked great in 1990. She didn't look great in
who,
2023. So,
who didn't look great back then, right?
yeah.
Unless you're
Yeah.
like Yeah, too. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying she was pretty in that picture, but
But it doesn't matter,
the current
right?
picture didn't look anything like her. And yeah, I would not recommend putting high school pictures up there because
Or
it's,
anything that old. If you
yeah,
look
no,
nothing like the photo, that's absolutely
yeah,
it's
no,
just silly.
so,
Yeah. Mhm.
okay. I'm very intrigued. I'm really, because between the trauma I went through, I'm trying to find myself, and I'm on the dating apps. I think I'm done with them, but I need to be on them to research for the podcast because number one, I'll have stories to give the audience, but two is I want to be able, to report back to tell people either what to be careful for, what to watch out for. I have already been scammed. I think I told you before. I had my
Yeah.
phone cloned. I've been catfished. So all of the things that we're told to look out for has happened to me already. And so I think it's time to cross off the dating apps, and I would like to meet somebody organically, like you said before,
Yeah.
my comfort zone or outside my comfort zone. I told this story to somebody the other night. I was at a supermarket this past weekend, and I was at the seafood section waiting for my seafood, and there was a woman in the produce aisle, and we locked eyes, and we played this game where she seemed to like gravitate closer to me, and I could have sworn that there was something there. And she was 20 years younger than me easily because as she got closer, she was beautiful, but she couldn't have been more than 40. I'm 63. So I don't know what was going on, but by the time she got close enough to me, I think maybe she did see how old I was. Maybe she wasn't wearing glasses, and then she turned around. But we did play that dancing, whatever you call that.
Yeah.
There was something there until she got close enough and realized maybe that I wasn't her type. So, but that was practice for me, and it was good because that's what I need. I need to be able to get out into the real world and practice. Either approach. Somebody said I should have just walked up to her and said hello to her, and if she
Yeah.
wasn't interested, she would have just walked away. So
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do. Say hello. Yeah. Or
yeah,
ask for help. If you're at a grocery store, hey, I can't find this. Could you help me out? So that's the Benjamin effect. If someone helps do a favor for you, they feel bonded more so than if you do a favor for somebody else. And if they turn you down, then you don't want to talk to them anyway.
yeah, no,
They're
no,
not a
no,
nice person. Yeah.
no. If I get a negative vibe, I'll just thank you, sorry for bothering you, and walk away. So,
Right. Right. Yeah.
um, okay, Kristi, anything else you would like to add? I'm going to put all of your information on the show notes.
Okay, thank
I'm,
you.
I already followed you on Facebook right before we jumped on. So you're on Facebook, KP Matching, right?
Yeah. KP
Um,
Match. Yeah. KP. Yeah, you're right. I think it's KP Match.
yeah, KP Matching or KP Match, and I'm already following you. So don't be surprised if I reach out to you
Yeah.
in a couple of months. I may want to. Uh, what can it hurt?
Right.
When I'm ready. I just don't think I'm ready yet. So, but
Yeah.
anyway,
And
anything?
Instagram, I have Instagram too. It's matchmaker Kristi D Price. And
Okay.
then I'm also putting some online coaching programs together, which should be out by the end of June, which are a lower price point for people to help people. Some will be narcissism, how to successfully online date, so people can just kind of go through it on their own and help them out.
One more question because it's just, and I think you might have touched on this. So if let's say that because I'm still on some dating apps. Uh, two questions. How many dating apps should one be on at one time? 1, 3, 2? I guess obviously
I'd
how
say
much?
at least two, like
Okay.
maybe like Match and like Hinge or Bumble. If you do three, that's fine too. I feel like if you do like Hinge, Match, and Bumble, there's a lot of crossover, especially, I mean, sorry, Tinder and Hinge, there's a lot of crossover. I mean, Tinder's really trying to get away from being a hookup app, but it pretty much is. But then all
Yeah.
of them are. You have to figure out why people are on there. So I think too, it can get really discouraging. It's hard to manage. It's a time suck.
It
So
is.
I like either Hinge, Bumble, and a combination of one of those two and Match. But three are fine too. I mean, you never know. But you'll start seeing crossovers. But so two or three.
You said that you did work with some of the 50 and over crowd. So that's what age group I fall into. So I've been on Our Time, and I'm now on Silver Singles, which is, by the way, their minimum radius for their search is 50 miles. So I'm getting people 3 states away, and
Yeah.
I emailed them and I said, can I set the radius for 10 miles? I don't want somebody in Ohio, and I'm getting likes and smiles from people like literally 3 states away, and I'm like, I'm not going to date somebody. So anyway, Silver
Have you
Singles.
tried Hinge or Bumble?
I'm on Bumble now, although the subscription expired. But there's 2 women I'm talking to, and apparently once your premium expires, you can still chat with them as long as the chat was initiated while you were premium. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm on Bumble. Match expired. I had no luck with that with Match. I'd not been on Hinge.
Try Hinge. So, yeah, sometimes it depends on your location. Sometimes things work better than the others. So Tinder up in Philadelphia is great. Like I've actually had people match up on that, but down in Florida, it's bad. So yeah, so just your location sometimes predicts what the kind of quality people you have on there too.
And so let's say that I wanted some help with my profile. I could come to you, and I obviously pay you, but you would help me with the profile. You would say bad pictures, bad questions, or whatever. So
for sure. Yeah, help people. Yeah, because it's your resume. It's the first thing people see, especially your photos. It should be written well and fun and really show who you are. But the number one thing are have good photos.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kristi D Price, thank you. You have given me and the audience a lot to think about, and you helped me navigate some of this stuff because I'm lost. So, all right, everybody. Kristi D Price with KP Matchmaking. Okay. And yeah, let's I'm following you. We'll stay in touch, and maybe I'll be one of your customers someday as soon as I'm ready. So any parting thoughts?
No, well, if anyone wants to schedule a 20-minute free phone consultation to ask me any questions or has any concerns, they can do that through my website as kpmatchmaking.com. Okay. So my information's on there.
All right. Kristi, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
thank you.
You have a great holiday weekend. Well, there you go. The dating world has gotten so complicated. Why does it have to be so complicated? Okay. Thank you, Kristi. Thank you for helping us clear some of this up. What doesn't have to be complicated is following me or subscribing to this podcast and or leave a review. Please, if you're on Apple, and I think Spotify does it, little blurb at the bottom with 5 stars. Want to get the word out there, folks. We need to get the word out there. Listen, you're going to make a choice. Please make it wisely. Until next time. Ciao.